sounding exquisite.
Oh shit, we back again. What's up, what's happening? Come to the party and bring a friend. Fuck it, I'm bringing 10. Ooh, trying to chat a 10. Big boy trying to chat a 10. She said I was catchy. I said, yo, tap him in.
Touchdown!
Double cup, wow, I stuck smile when I puff loud. I touch clouds, catching touchdowns in my mind now, cause I'm zoned out. On a porch couch in the Zod cloud. 2 coughs and I'm back now. 2 coughs and I'm packed out. Somebody give me a drink before I gotta sit down. I'm making hits now with a smooth style.
What's up, everybody? I am your host, Preston Rowe, defensive backs quality control coach, and this is the Trash Talk Tailgate. Normally, I'm joined by my co-host, Riley Peters, but he is not here today, unfortunately. So we're going to be running a solo show. It's not going to be that long, but we've got some college football playoff games to talk about, some reactions, what exactly happened, what that means going forward. We're going to talk about all of that. So first of all, let's just get right into it. Start with the Friday night game, an absolute banger. I had Oklahoma winning this game, but Alabama goes on the road and gets the win against Oklahoma. Oklahoma was up 17-0 at one point in this game. And there was a sequence of plays that happened that really just kind of let it all go downhill. First of all, Oklahoma, they drop a wide open touchdown that could have ended the game. They could have gone up 24-0 potentially. They drop it, so they have to punt. The very next play, they punt. The punter drops the ball, picks it back up, tries to punt it, and then it gets blocked. And Alabama is able to get a lot of momentum and great field position. And then Oklahoma, they try to respond, and John Mateer throws a pick six. It was a miscommunication. It looked like the receiver ran the wrong route or didn't cut his route off at the correct yardage and distance. So that was it. Just like that, the game flipped on its head. And then in the second half, Oklahoma could not block Alabama. Alabama woke the fuck up, and Oklahoma just could not block them. And I said going into this game, if Oklahoma could hit explosives, they were going to have a great chance to win this game because I trusted their defense to be able to get enough stops. But Alabama, they did a great job of limiting the explosives in the second half. Because if Oklahoma can't hit explosives on you, they're not going to be able to sustain consistent drives, and their defense is going to eventually get worn down. And that's exactly what happened. Oklahoma couldn't pass protect. They couldn't run block at all. John Mateer in the second half was under so much pressure and duress. It was crazy. And Alabama, they teed off on him, man, and they kept forcing 3-and-outs. They kept forcing John Mateer off his spot. They were forcing him to run around and basically play backyard football, and he couldn't get it done. It was crazy. And then on the flip side, Alabama, Ty Simpson woke up. Ty Simpson played a great second half. Alabama, they were able to get momentum. They were able to ride it. And Ty Simpson, he threw some absolute dots. The throw he had to Isaiah Horton on the right sideline, that's an NFL throw right there. And he had a couple of those. It was crazy. And you have to give Alabama credit for going on the road and overcoming a 17-point deficit. That is really damn impressive. So credit Kalen DeBoer. Credit Alabama because that's a really tough place to play against an elite level defense. They might be the best defense in the entire country. And Oklahoma, they played well defensively. It's just their offense didn't give them enough. They weren't able to sustain enough drives to get it home and win the game. So give Alabama a ton of credit for that. They were also able to run the ball a little bit better than we've seen all year. Just Jam Miller, he looked hurt. He didn't look fully healthy, but they were able to run the ball. So that was good. And now Alabama, they play Indiana in the Rose Bowl, and that'll be a hell of a game. And, we'll talk about that later. But Alabama moves on. They go on the road, get a huge win at Oklahoma. Massive, massive win for Kalen DeBoer. Hopefully, Alabama fans don't want to fire him. I've seen some Alabama fans still say they'd like to have him fired, which is insane. At a certain point, it's just like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Anyway, Alabama moves on to play Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Now we get to another banger. There were two bangers this weekend. Texas A&M and Miami. Miami goes on the road to College Station and is able to upset Texas A&M, the home team. Both home teams lost. Both SEC home teams lost this weekend, which is crazy. So how is Miami able to win this game? Well, it's very simple. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They were able to run the ball effectively. Let's see how many yards. Miami had 175 rushing yards. 172 of them came from their running back, Mark Fletcher. He averaged 10 yards a carry. Miami was able to dominate the line of scrimmage both on the offensive line and on the defensive line. Texas A&M could not run the ball for shit. They ran the ball 35 times for 89 yards. That's 2.5 yards a carry. And their leading rusher was Marcel Reed, 15 carries for 27 yards. You're going to have a bad time if your quarterback is your leading rusher in a college football playoff game. It's just Miami's, we talked about it all year. These were two of the best lines of scrimmage teams in the country, and Miami proved that they were just better. Texas A&M's offensive line is really, really good, and Miami dominated them. Ruben Bain had 3 sacks, and Miami as a team had 7 with 9 tackles for loss. That is insane. That is absurd. Oh, man. Let's see. And then Texas A&M, they lost the turnover battle. They had 3 turnovers, and Miami had 1. And it was Malachi Toney, but he was able to redeem himself. Look, man, if Miami plays like this and keeps it out of Carson Beck's hands, they're able to run the ball and play great defense like that, they're going to be a problem against anyone they play. I know they play Ohio State next. I know a lot of people are going to pick Ohio State. I don't know about that. Miami, they just proved that they can dominate one of the best lines of scrimmage teams in the country. A&M is really damn good up front on both sides of the ball, and Miami dominated them. So that was really, really impressive. Miami impressed the shit out of me. I was more impressed, I think, with Miami than any other team this past weekend. I get it, Alabama had that huge deficit, but they were absolutely helped by Oklahoma. Oklahoma kind of choked that game away. And then Malachi Toney, man, the true freshman, he's one of the most explosive players in the entire country. He fumbles the ball in a critical situation when the game is tied, and it looks like Texas A&M can drive the field with really good field position and potentially score a game-winning touchdown or kick a game or kick a go-ahead field goal. And the defense, they get a stop, and then Malachi Toney is able to score the game-winning touchdown. And Malachi Toney is able to score the game-winning touchdown, and Miami's able to win the game 10-3. And I'm so impressed with Miami. I get it. The ACC has been clowned on, rightfully so. Our ACC champion this year was Duke, who had 7 losses. But they never should have been in there because the ACC is dumb. They're really stupid, and they have very dumb tiebreakers. Miami should have easily won the ACC this year. They should have been in over Duke in the championship game. And I think they would have beaten Miami. Or I think they would have beaten Virginia. But, Miami, this is the first time the ACC has won a playoff game or a New Year's Six bowl game since 2020. It's a long ass time. So, good for Miami, and they really, really impressed me. They're going to be a tough out for anyone left in this field. I know they play Ohio State. I think Ohio State should be pretty worried. If you can dominate Texas A&M, I think you could dominate anyone left in this bracket. So that'll be very, very interesting. If they can run the ball and not have Carson Beck turn the ball over and not make critical mistakes, they're going to be tough. They can beat anyone. Ooh. All right. Now, I would like to say something. I've seen a lot of people talk about how Tulane and JMU did not deserve to make the college football playoff. And the reasoning behind that is because they got blown out. And I would just like to tell you that blowouts happen every single year. Whether it was the 4-team playoff format going to the 12-team playoff format. Blowouts happen every single year. And it's not because it's group of 5 teams. Only one group of 5 team made it in the entire 4-team playoff era, and that was Cincinnati. And yeah, they got blown out, but we all kind of expected that. But there have been blowouts every single year. It's not fair to say JMU and Tulane don't deserve to be in when they got blown out, because so many other blue bloods have been blown out in these playoffs. Let me go down the list. Would you believe that Alabama got blown out by Clemson? Ohio State got blown out by Clemson. Clemson got blown out by both Ohio State and LSU. Michigan got blown out by Georgia. Florida State got blown out by Oregon. Oregon got blown out by Ohio State twice. Once just last year. Washington blown out by Bama. Tennessee got blown out by Ohio State last year. Michigan State got blown out by Bama. TCU, after beating Michigan, got blown out by over 60 points by Georgia. Every team gets blown out. There are blowouts every single year. And these are blue bloods. You're talking about Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I didn't even list how many times did they get blown out in the 4-team playoff. It makes no sense. Did any of those teams not deserve to make it just because they got blown out? No, that's stupid. That's so stupid. Blowouts are going to happen. They've been happening forever. It's not fair to JMU and Tulane to say, oh, they got blown out. They didn't deserve to be there. No. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at the ACC. The ACC champion had 5 losses. Like, the ACC didn't do their job. Florida State is ass. Miami lost to Louisville, so they didn't make the conference championship game. Fucking UVA made the conference championship game. Clemson was ass this year. Virginia Tech has been ass for a while, and I'm a diehard Virginia Tech fan. The ACC did not hold up their end of the bargain this year. That's why you got 2 group of 5 teams in instead of just the mandatory 1. The ACC didn't hold up its end of the bargain. It's as simple as that. If you want to be mad at the ACC and how incompetent both the leadership and the teams have been the last few years. It just it really, really pisses me off when people say that. Oh, man. Ooh. I mean, if anyone's in the chat, love to talk ball with y'all. Is anyone in the chat? Like, I'd love to see it, you know. That's we can talk some NFL games if you want. Obviously, the Bears beat the Packers in overtime last night. That was a crazy ass game. Caleb Williams threw a dot to DJ Moore to win the game, you know. I mean, I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan, but he played well. That was a great throw. And now the Bears, they're right back in the NFC North, you know. The Packers, They just seem to be a little lifeless after losing Michael Parsons for the year. It's really shitty because unlike with the Patrick Mahomes injury, yeah, it sucks to see Patrick Mahomes go down, but the Chiefs were all but eliminated anyway. It didn't really matter at that point. The Packers were very much playing for something. They were very much a Super Bowl contender. And now Michael Parsons is out for the year. And you just kind of have to feel like they're not a real contender anymore without Michael Parsons wreaking havoc on the edge. It's a really shitty situation. And yeah, it's just not a great situation. And then, if we want to go back to Thursday, we've got that banger of a game, the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks are able to win the game in overtime, 2 NFL games, 2 overtime games, because they go for a 2-point conversion and they convert it. That's awesome. And just that game was crazy. We're going to talk about that more on Tuesday, but just 2 great NFL games. But this is a college football live stream on Sundays that we do. So now, yeah. But before we do get out of here, before I get out of here, we are going to go in and we are going to pick all of the remaining NFL games that we've got. Unless the chat wants to ask any questions, we're just here to talk ball. All right, first of all, we have the Bills at the Browns. I am taking the Bills all the way just because they've got the better quarterback. They've got the better team. The Bills are just one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Browns are very much shitty. Chargers at the Cowboys. That's tough. The Cowboys, offensively, they're playing about as well as anyone. Defensively, they leave a lot to be desired. The Chargers, they've had so many injuries all year, especially on the offensive line. I'm still going to take the Chargers just because I trust Jim Harbaugh and that coaching staff more than I trust the Cowboys coaching staff. The Chiefs at the Titans, oh God, without Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, they're a dead team walking at this point, but the Titans are so much worse. I'm still going to take the Chiefs. The Titans they're terrible. Titans are awful. Bengals at the Dolphins. There's a lot of talk about Joe Burrow and a lot of speculation right now. He doesn't look like he's having fun. He honestly looks like he's going to jump in front of a train. And that makes me so sad because I love Joe Burrow. I'm still, as much as I love Joe Burrow, I'm going to take the Dolphins. It's crazy. I don't trust the Bengals organization or this team at all. Jets at the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints just because they're at home and the Superdome is a very tough place to play. So give me the Saints. They've had a few big ones this year. Vikings at the Giants. I'm going to take the Vikings. The Giants are a dead team walking. I'm going to take the Vikings to go on the road and get a dub in MetLife. This is a very interesting game. The Buccaneers at the Panthers. I've been riding with the Bucs all year. I'm going to take the Panthers in this one just because they're at home. They play really well at home, and the Bucs have been devastated by injury. Baker Mayfield hasn't played well these last few weeks. I don't think that's all on him. His receiving core has been decimated. His defense has been hurt a lot. Yeah, no. 10-4 Jaguars at the 12-2 Broncos. I am going to take the Broncos just because it's at Mile High, and I think the Broncos have the best defense in all of football. Like, give me the Broncos. Plus, I don't trust Trevor Lawrence like that. Falcons at the Cardinals. God, I don't know what the Falcons are. I've said it all year. They've got too much talent to be 5-9. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You've got Kirk Cousins starting at quarterback now. They've got so much talent, but they're still 5-9. I'm still going to take the Falcons, but I don't trust them at all. I just trust the Cardinals a little bit less. Steelers at the Lions. Give me the Lions. I've been riding with them all year. I'm a huge fan of the Lions. Give me the Lions. They need to win this game. Give me the Lions at home. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to go the fuck off. Jared Goff's underrated, had a very underrated season. Not a lot of people have talked about it. Give me the Lions at home. Raiders at the Texans. The Raiders are a dumpster fire. They've got two great players, Brock Bowers and Max Crosby, and that is it. Ashton Jitty can't do shit because they don't have an offensive line. Geno Smith, there's already speculation about will he even be back with the Raiders next year. People are saying Pete Carroll might be one and done. I think that would be insane. Give me the Texans. They've got a better quarterback. They've got maybe the best defense other than the Broncos in the entire league. And they've got really good weapons. They just don't have an offensive line. But CJ Stroud is used to that, unfortunately. He knows how to overcome that. Patriots at the Ravens. You know what? The Patriots are coming off a huge, devastating loss to the Bills in a game in which they blew a 21-point lead. I feel like this is going to be a hangover game for them. Give me the Ravens at home. I feel like the Ravens are in must-win mode right now. Give me the Ravens to get a huge win at home. Oh, what's up, Jack Lee? Yes. No. And Jack Lee, to your point about Michigan, Kenny Dillingham, a guy that was rumored to be a top candidate for them, just signed an extension with Arizona State. So who is Michigan going to hire? I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. Oh, because I don't think Kalen DeBoer is going to leave Alabama. Falcons are a terrible organization with a great team. This is very true. They're also terribly coached. I guess that goes along with the organization. But Raheem Morris is a football terrorist. I'm sorry. You have all that talent and you continue to squander it. You do nothing with it. It is so infuriating. Jack Lee, just out of curiosity. So we've got Texas Tech and Oregon. We've got Indiana, Alabama. We've got Miami, Ohio State. And we've got a rematch of Ole Miss, Georgia. What are your predictions for that game, Jack Lee? If you're still here, I'm just very curious. Let's start with Oregon, Texas Tech. I feel like a lot of people are going to take Oregon, but I really think Oregon, Texas Tech is going to be a banger. I don't think people understand how good Texas Tech's defense is. They might have one of the best defenses in the entire country, obviously led by Jacob Rodriguez. But I think an even better player on that defense is David Bailey, their elite level pass rusher. David Bailey is a stud. I don't trust their offense enough to score enough points. Yeah, he does. He does. I think I'm going to take Oregon to win that game. Just looking at it initially. Now we've got Indiana, Alabama, Jack Lee. Who do you got? Who do you got, Jack Lee? Indiana. They just lost their best pass rusher, though. Their best pass rusher, God, I can't remember his name. He got hurt in the Big Ten championship game. Alabama's too slow. I don't know about that. I think it'll be a great game. Indiana's really damn good, and they just beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. They went on the road and beat this Oregon team. I don't know. I feel like Alabama's still going to give them a great game. And I don't like that Indiana's best defender is not going to be in this game. So I think I'm going to lean towards Alabama right now. And then we've got Miami, Ohio State. Miami, Ohio State. I don't know if you saw this, Jack Lee, but I said, that's fair. Fernando Mendoza is going to be the best quarterback by far that Alabama has played all year. And he does have the capability to pick them apart. But I think Kane Womack has proven that he's at least, a very good defensive coordinator that can adjust and, maybe get Fernando off his spot and get him uncomfortable in the pocket. I would trust Alabama to do that. I don't know if you saw this, Jack Lee. I said Miami was the most impressive team out of all of the games this week because they dominated a really good team on the lines of scrimmage. Julian saying is better than Carson Beck can be Ohio State. That's fair. But Jack Lee, what if they don't ask Carson Beck to do anything? What if they're just able to run the ball and stop Ohio State in the trenches? Because Miami, they proved so much against A&M. They did it against Notre Dame. No one really believed them. And then they did it again against A&M. And Miami's playing really damn good football right now. They just dominated a great team on the lines of scrimmage in Texas A&M. I think Miami definitely has a shot to beat Ohio State. And then I think I know where you're going to go with this one. The rematch, Georgia-Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. Miami knows the art of the throw. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that is so fucking funny. And then I'm gonna take Georgia. The Ole Miss boys no ball. They dominated Tulane at one point in the first quarter. Ole Miss ran 7 plays for 135 total yards. Was an absolute ass kicking. But this is Georgia, and they don't have Lane Kiffin. They lost to Georgia with Lane Kiffin earlier this year. Yeah. I'm going to take Georgia in that game. Well, I think we already picked. Let's say I already picked the NFL games. Jack Lee, I'm sorry. I know you got in here late, but just without Riley here, I just really don't know what else there really is to talk about. Do you want to talk about anything, Jack Lee, before we get out of here? Basically LSU next year versus Georgia. Oh, Jack, I don't think Jack Lee wants to talk about anything. We did not talk about the Puka apocalypse. Jack Lee, for those of you that don't know, Jack Lee has had to face Kyle Pitts last week in fantasy, and this week he had to face Puka Nacua. So he was able to win last week, but we'll see if he can survive yet another just slaughter. Like, oh my God. Will Jack Lee be able to survive another week in the fantasy football TTT playoffs? Will he be able to survive? I don't know. Puka went off for 40. Fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, Jack Lee. Josh Jacobs did not have a good game last night. That Bears defense is legit. The Bears, they beat the Packers. It's crazy. No. But, well, Jack Lee, thank you so much for, yes, the Bears winning is very sad because now Bears fans think they're actually good because of Caleb Williams, and that's could not be further from the truth. They've got a really good run game. They play really good defense. It's not Caleb. Well, Jack Lee, thank you so much for joining me here at the Trash Talk Tailgate. Riley could not be here, unfortunately. But we still had a great time. Jack Lee, I really appreciate you joining us. Everyone else who joined us and wasn't in the chat, thank you so much. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Go out and check us out on all of our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube, all at Trash Talk Tailgate. We post content every single day. We're going to continue to post content every single day. We are the place to talk all of football, all the time. College football playoffs, NFL playoff discussion heating up. It's a great time. It's a great time of year. It's December football, getting into January. Let's fucking go. It's awesome. Jack Lee. Caleb Williams is a competent toddler who functions really well from a high chair. Well said, Jack Lee. And with that, thank you guys so much. We will be back Tuesday. Riley will be back with us on Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time to talk all the NFL games. Enjoy your NFL Sunday, and we will see you later.